shorty playing in the front yard of the crib. Fell down and I bumped my head. Somebody helped me up and asked me if I bumped my head. I said, yeah. So then they said, oh, so that means you gonna switch it on them. I said, yeah, flip mode. Flip mode is the greatest. You know, and as a shorty, I was always told that if I ain't gonna be part of the greatest, I gotta be the greatest myself. Come on, yeah, come on. Yeah, nigga, what a surprise. Give you something, make a nigga close both of your eyes. All my niggas getting money capitalized. Die, little small guy, we on the rise. Everything a nigga touch, platinumized. Full of your crib, you know we coming all on supplies. Got a big gun and I'ma show you the size. You fuck with any of my flip mode family ties. Me and my niggas be coming through, stalking you out. Killing off any and everything you talking about. See you in the club, now we walking you out. Should've thought twice before you went and open your mouth. Yo, anyway, we stay keeping it moving. Fucking with the wrong nigga, hope you know what you're doing. Now blame me, all the same niggas is lame. It's not a game, nigga name still split in your frame. Y'all niggas had enough? Give me some more. Y'all niggas want the wild shit? Give me some more. Yo, split with the weed at? Give me some more. I know y'all niggas need that. Give me some more. Even though we getting money, you could give me some more. With the cars in the big crib, give me some more. Everybody spread love, give me some more. If you want it, let me hear you say it. Give me some more. Blast with a rash, give me my cash, flicking my ass, running with my money, son, go out with a blast. Do what you want, the niggas cut in the corner, you fucking up the order, go ahead and meet the reporter. Yo, she telling news on how you switch to a bitch. Little fake funny style, nigga chill with a snitch. So now I pass you straight, I don't got nothing to ask you. Make a little room for me, you know my niggas to pass through. Cartier, Sidney Portier, hooray shit. Roll with all of my niggas from around the way shit. When I come through, y'all niggas know I do my thing, bring more shit to generate money. Cha-ching, arrest you, lyrically, flow will caress you. Bless you, then the nigga come to your rescue. Why you assuming nigga blossom and bloom? I'm coming soon, hit you with a boom, give me some room. Y'all niggas had enough? Give me some more. Y'all niggas want some wild shit? Give me some more. Hey, split with a weed at? Give me some more. I know y'all niggas need that. Give me some more. Even though we getting money, you can give me some more. Cars in the big crib, give me some more. Everybody spread love, give me some more. If you want it, let me hear you say it. Give me some more. Yo, live nigga shit, know what I mean? That represent why we getting money and reign supreme. Hope y'all niggas know we coming through full steam. Can't see me, better turn on your high beam. All my niggas while I'm ringing the siren. Flip mode, we go with niggas from my team. Never should you ever try to fuck with my cream. I OD when my shit get all in your bloodstream. Every time we be ripping and be blowing it down, blowing you all fucking with the hottest niggas around. Rockers with me and my people run through your town, holding it down, thinking the wild nigga give me my crown. Hey, all my people need to come and surround. A nigga be hitting so much I make you fall on the ground. Sure to make you shot, that's what I be all about. Turning you out, making all of you niggas fall out. Y'all niggas had enough? Give me some more. Y'all niggas want the wild shit? Give me some more. Hey, split with the weed at? Give me some more. I know y'all niggas need that. Give me some more. Even though we getting money, you can give me some more. With the cars in the big crib, give me some more. Everybody spread love, give me some more. If you want it, let me hear you say it. Give me some more.
This goes out to all the women in the world, especially her. You know it don't even matter your age, don't even matter your color. Yo, fellas, I ain't forget about y'all. This is for everybody that like to dance. Just listen to what I'm saying and do it and take a chance. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put yours, then I put mine. Then we can dip down low and roll and grind. Get on the floor like I said before. Y'all remember that down
Clown will eat me. Can't sleep. Clown will eat me.
All right, Chad, how we all doing tonight? How we all doing? It's late. It's late. Eldritch fan says, no way, dude, I'm going to bed. Well, why are you still up? Honestly. Hope you all enjoyed the music. Somebody in the comments the other day told me they wanted more rap music. That was their exact quote, I believe. Please play more rap music. We can't get enough. The people demand. My audience demands more rap music. And I want to give it to them. Oh, man. So, let's take a look. I saw this list on the Twitters. My good buddy Andrew Banner shared it with me. Would y'all like to know? Now, this is from Culture Crave, I believe. So, take that for whatever it's worth. Would y'all like to know what the top 10 selling games of 2024 is? Or were? All right. So, let's go ahead and get our list all set up here. Here we go. So we have EA Sports MVP Bundle NFL was number 10. I don't even know what that is. I mean, that's not Madden because Madden is something else. That sounds like add-on shit for Madden. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, folks. Elden Ring, which I believe came out like 2 fucking years ago, is number 9, but okay. FC 25, I don't know what the fuck that is. Is that soccer? I don't know, chat. Is that soccer? Couldn't tell you. Modern Warfare 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, which I feel like Modern Warfare is more than 3 games at this point. I don't know what that's about. Madden, good old trusty Madden 25 at number 6. 2K25, which I believe, NBA, that's basketball. Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero at number 4. Helldivers at number 3, which is I've heard is good. I've heard Elden Ring is good too, from people that might actually know what the fuck they're talking about. Number 2, college football 25. That's cool. Colleges used to be schools. I don't know if y'all are old enough to remember that. A long time ago. In the long ago. And then Call of Duty Black Ops 6, number 1. So we got a lot of quality games here, chat. It's a good time to be a fucking gamer. Man, that is some quality fucking content. Modern gaming fucking sucks. It really fucking sucks. There's like 2 things on here that look like real games. We got one weeb shit, and the rest is just sports ball and shooty shoots. Oh man. Godzilla Cells says Elden Ring is decent, but I don't think I ever want to play it again. I don't know, man. It's that and Helldivers are the only things on there that, from what I understand, are real games. Oh man, I mean that's what sells. You know, you're gonna complain about it, but that's what the fuck sells. You know what? Let's go a little deeper on this. Let's not just look at Godzilla says more than half of Elden Ring is wandering around in an open world, which wasn't that interesting the first time. Yeah, open world games they're a hard second playthrough for me. And I love open world games. I love them to death. Man, I think the only one I've played through more than once, as far as sandbox games, would probably be Saints Row 2. Because I actually genuinely enjoyed the story content of Saints Row 2. But even that, I didn't enjoy it as much because it wasn't the same level of goofing around and finding stuff. And like, I used to get excited in Saints Row 2 when I'd find a new fucking clothing store that had new shit to buy to fucking deck my character out. I don't know, man. You give me like fucking customization options, even just in the appearance of my character, and I'm gonna play dress up like I'm a fucking 5-year-old girl. Love that shit. I am gonna literally. I will buy every article of clothing you fucking give me, just to have the options. And in Saints Row 2, I always switched the colors to purple. All my shit was color coded purple for the Saints. God, I love that game. I don't like any other Saints Row games. 3, I lost interest in really quickly. I was having a little bit of fun, but like real early in that, I lost interest. I had never played 1 when it came out. I tried to go back and play 1 after having played 2, and it really had that first game syndrome. Like, I'm sure 1 was probably fun when it first came out, but after 2, it just felt like a fucking prototype. 2 was good, though. I actually enjoyed the writing in 2, which is rare for those kind of games. I played a lot of Grand Theft Auto games. I do enjoy them. But I've never given a fuck about Rockstar's writing. I do a couple of missions to unlock shit, and then it's just dick around in this world until I'm bored with it. Which takes a while, because I do love a sandbox game. Yeah, I love nothing more than, here's an open world, do what you want. Fuck yeah, dude. But those games I mean, you know, they can't be the standard. They can't. Like, these are games that, you know, if you're going to make it a genuinely large open world that's full of interesting shit, then, you know, you can't do, you can't make those regularly. I wonder, what are the top TV shows of 2024? See if we can find a list. Not best. I want top. Let's most watched. Let's do it that way. Immediately, Bing is I'm using Bing. Yes, I don't like Google. Bing gives me better results generally. Immediately, it's saying Bluey and Grey's Anatomy were the most streamed programs. But let's see. Can we get like new shows? Highest rated shows of 2024. Okay, so this is off of tvline.com for whatever that's worth. Okay. So it looks like they have categories here. I'm wondering how many of these any of you have even fucking heard of. DZD says San Andreas had the best plot. Not that that's saying much. I like San Andreas the most of Grand Theft Auto games, but even that, I wouldn't say it's because of the plot. It's just because I just like early 90s West Coast rap aesthetic. Like, you know, like, I tried to play, what was the 80s one? Where it's in Miami. Vice City, I think. I tried to play that one, and it's like, I don't have any real direct nostalgia for the 80s, you know? Alright, so, top-rated TV shows here, chat. You remember TV. It's what your parents watch. So, the number one most watched returning comedies, the number one is Young Sheldon. After that's Ghosts. I think my dad watches that. The Neighborhood, which I don't believe I've heard of. Bob Hart's A Abishola? Is that real? And then number 5 is the Connors. That's the Roseanne show where they got rid of Roseanne, which apparently 4.1 million people were watching. Who's watching this? Most watched dramas and NCIS FBI. FBI is the name of the show, I guess. Chicago Fire, Blue Bloods. Oh, that's the Thin Blue Line show with Tom Selleck. Chicago Medical, The Equalizer, Chicago PD, NCIS Hawaii. My God. I'm curious though. Okay, so getting back to it. What the fuck is Bob Hart's Abishola? Because I've never fucking... I'm not even sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. Godzilla Cells. So it's kind of crazy all these cop shows have dominated for so long. It's a pretty simple formula from what I understand it. They're not expensive to make. Bob Hart's Abishola? Now, that's not real. This is a real top-rated fucking show? I've never fucking heard of this. This is like a gay white dude apparently married to a like African black chick. This show is just about grubby. What is this show? I've never heard of this. Like, ever. I've never seen anyone mention it or make fun of it or anything. Like, this is like the number 3 fucking comedy in America. Chad, have you fucking heard of this? Michael is saying that The Equalizer is Queen Latifah? Are you fucking kidding? Isn't The Equalizer isn't that the movie with like Denzel Washington? Is the show based off of that? Did they turn Denzel Washington into Queen Latifah? What the fuck? Chances I think we might be the old man out of touch. When he says Ian Miles Chong just retweeted me, it's never been more over. Haven't you blocked him? Everyone on Twitter should block him just to make his fucking profile go away. Because I feel like, see, Ian's not like actually a person. He's an evil spirit that's just sort of congealed out of malice and bad will. So I think if we all just look away, he'll fade back into the ether. I've never heard of this show, chat. I bet you it's really good. I bet you it's really funny. Maybe we could see like a trailer for it? I don't know. Like a best of moment? Final scene. Apparently this show has run its fucking course. After 5 seasons. 5 seasons, chat. The show had 5 fucking seasons. Who's watching that? It looks fucking terrible. Who? Look, man, I'm not like oh, I'm anti-race mixing. I think that's kind of dumb. But like, who's honestly like, I want to watch the show about a gay-looking fat white dude is dating a fucking chick from Wakanda. I want a white dude who looks like an extra from the fucking birdcage dating the bald chick from Wakanda from the fucking Black Panther movies. Who's watching this? You want to get really... So, Young Sheldon, as you may know, is the spin-off of Big Bang Theory. Forgive me, I have a boomer dad. I know these things against my will. And you may think, okay... I thought when Young Sheldon came out that it was just going to bomb. That it was like, okay, Big Bang Theory, it was a time and a place. You know, like it or hate it, I understand why it got popular. And I thought they're just trying to recapture that magic. It ain't going to work. Young Sheldon went on for like 10 fucking years. Like 8 or 9 seasons, no lie. And, like he wasn't Young Sheldon anymore. He was just regular Sheldon at that point. And there's another one. There's another one. My dad has unfortunately informed me, all excited, that there is yet another one where we follow Sheldon's brother in his first marriage. Because we really need to flesh out the Big Bang Theory expanded universe. So that show must credit its success to people locked in their house in 2020. Michael M. says the Equalizer was an 80s show. Okay, so it's based on the 80s show. But the success of the Denzel Washington Equalizer movies resulted in them doing a new Equalizer series with Queen Latifah in the head. Oh, God. Queen Latifah is awful, by the way. And never mind, like, not taking her seriously in an action role, which you shouldn't. But she's supposed to be like a comedic actress, and she's never been funny or charming. Like, I get it. She's a fat chick. You know, she's not a sex symbol, fine. But she's never been funny or charming. Not to me, at least. And I have a soft spot for, like, black comedy, okay? Fucking Barbershop from, like, 2001 is one of my all-time favorite movies. Easily in the top 20 for me. Love that fucking film. I actually avoided Barbershop 2 for the longest time because she's in it, and the promos for Barbershop 2 made it look like it was her fucking movie, when really she's in it for like one 5-minute scene that sets up a fucking beauty shop spin-off movie that I've never seen, because why would I? It was the worst 5 minutes of the movie she was in. God, man. What the fuck happened to TV? There's a new Spider-Man cartoon on Disney Plus. It looks like absolute dog shit. It looks like those... the animation on it looks so bad. It looks like those Joel Haver fucking YouTube videos. And it's of course woke, because like they made a Norman and Harry Osborn black, and then Harry Osborn looks fruity and buck broken for some reason. They made the Lizard a black chick. I'm not even kidding. That sounds like I'm making it up, like it's a fucking parody. I'm not. And it was so bad that the voice actor for Spider-Man, and by the way, the costume's absolute dog shit too, and the animation's dog shit. Voice actor for Spider-Man came out just yesterday and was like, well, this show's not woke. It's not, guys. It probably is. It also looks like dog shit either way. Kind of a bit of a vibe change that he would say that. I'm sure you've all noticed the big vibe change here recently. This isn't the country it was even a few months ago, man. The left is in fucking disarray. They're I've never seen them more on the ropes. And by the way, this is absolutely like, we could have always been doing this. Like, Trump's done more in less than 2 weeks now than the left has done in decades, or than the right has done in decades, I should say. Hey, Forney, you want to call in? You got Skype still? You can call in. John Steele, you were listening earlier too. I wouldn't mind taking call-ins. Let's see. John Steele says the '80s TV series Equalizer was a great show. Yeah, I didn't really know that was an '80s. I knew the Denzel Washington movies. I haven't seen them, but I know of them. I don't know who wants to watch Queen Latifah in a fucking which is I'd call him. Oh, John Steele wants to call in. Hey, what's up?
You tell me, Negro.
I'm just bombing around. Just can't sleep, so I'd figure I'd stream.
You actually got a few people listening.
Yep.
Yeah, normally when you stream, the notification icon comes on, like, how do I say it? Usually, like, you're just about to hang up by the time the notification.
I've had a lot of people do that. A lot of streams, people just, like, show up right at the end. They're like, hey, you wrapping it up? Like, yeah, I've been here for like an hour.
Yeah, but no one would know unless they were on your channel or you let them know ahead of time.
I don't know how any of that works, man.
So it's probably a good thing that you do a long wait before you actually start talking.
I got to play that good music because all the people in my comments love it. They love it. They can't get enough of my taste in music. They adore it. Some people are often like, I wish you'd play more. I wish you'd just continuously play the music.
Really?
But you know, we got lots of stuff to talk about, so we got to.
Well, you wanted to say about the left is being on the ropes. I was going to say don't rest on your laurels.
Man. Oh no, keep pushing. I'm just saying it's honestly amazing that, like, you know, Republicans. I mean, I don't want to say they haven't done shit in the last 50 years because that's not true. They've done a lot of bad things.
Yeah.
So as far as actually helping the America and the American people.
Yeah, Trump has done more in 1 week than either party is more good things in 1 week than either party has done in 50 years, as far as I'm concerned.
And again, I talk about the vibe checks and all. Like, I saw something, and I can't find the original video. I don't know where they got it, but Revenge of the Sis was watching it on Monday, and it's video of the mayor of Chicago, right? And he's in some like town hall meeting, and it's all like hood rat black people. You know what I mean? Like, some of them were church blacks, some of them were hood rats, but all of them were like, fuck all these illegals, fuck you. One of them, while he's talking to him, puts on a Trump hat. And like, Trump, one of them Trump was like you gonna be out of a job soon, nigga. Like, they were out for blood. They're like, you fucking illegals gotta go. You talk about a vibe change just across the board. You know, like, you don't hear quite as many leftist celebrities running their fucking mouths right now, do you? You still see it and all, but it's way less. And if they do, it's usually like the next day they're like, let me clarify my comments. Like,
well, this is what's going on as far as I can tell, because I've been kind of talking to a lot of people, like, through Telegram, like literally people all over the world. And like the vibe is this. So you got people in the chattering classes, like the people like on MSNBC and stuff like that. They're still freaking out as always. Like, you saw them, like, when they interviewed JD Vance, you had that fucking cunt go on there and do that. So they're all they're saying, you know, this is the end of the world. This is the end of the world. But if you know, I was watching an interview that Piers Morgan did with Tucker Carlson. By the way, I hate Piers Morgan, but that's beside the point. But he was talking about, he went to the Madison Square Garden event that Trump had. Like, Trump, like, you know, called him up, said, hey, why don't you stop by? It's like a rock concert. And he's like, yeah, it literally was. And he goes, I was expecting there to be like all these protests on this, you know, this is like New York City is really, really fucking liberal. Like, they voted like 95% fucking blue, you know. And he said he talked to one of the Secret Service agents, and he said, how many demonstrators are there? And he goes, well, we counted approximately 150. He's like, in New York City, they only could rally 150, and he said the rest of the people were all fucking Trump people that couldn't get in. He didn't have any protesters. So, anyway, the point is, my theory on this is like the rank and file type of, the shock troops. They're all exhausted. Like they're just burnt out. Like they're, because no one wants to, and no one's running cover for them anymore because they can't. So like a lot of these liberal DAs that George Soros had put in play, they've been outed. From Portland to San Francisco to wherever those DAs are. I mean, not all of them. There's still a few around, but a lot of them have just gotten the boot. So now when you commit a crime, like, you take over a city, when they arrest you, you actually go to jail. So that's one of the reasons. And you don't have Kamala Harris paying your bail like you used to.
There's other little things, like after the supposed Nazi salute from Elon Musk, which, I don't care if he is a Nazi. He certainly wouldn't be the first one in the space program. But I saw the ADL of all fucking things on Twitter be like, we should have understanding and give people the benefit of the doubt. And I'm like,
they don't want to get sued.
I don't think you've said that in the entirety of your existence. Like,
well, the reason they don't do it to Elon Musk is he's got a bankroll.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, the little things like that are like the mayor in New York's talking about, we got to get rid of these illegals. I'm going to work with Trump. And then, you get like, Piers Morgan's a perfect example. A couple years ago, Piers Morgan was flaming fucking ass liberal.
Yeah.
And now he's like, let's be moderate and discuss real solutions.
Have you heard of Jesus?
You get little things like the ESPN guy, that black guy they always meme, Steven Saylor or whatever his name is. He was like, I feel foolish for voting for Kamala. And it's like, none of this shit would have been happening. None of this shit happened in 2017. You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't this. This is a vibe change across the board. Like, rats on the left know this is a sinking ship, and they're getting the fuck away from it.
Yes. Well, I would.
Again, I don't think these people had changes of heart. I just think they know where the wind's blowing.
Yes. Well, a couple of things have happened. Like, this is my theory. It's kind of like not just about Trump, it's kind of just about history in general when you have these massive tectonic shifts in the way people think. I mean, going back to like, the French Revolution to the American Civil War to, the MAGA movement, whatever you want to call it, it's always really a war between elites, right? I mean, the French Revolution was a war between the aristocracy versus the mercantile class, right? The American Civil War was a war between the landowning, Southern aristocrats, the rich people, versus the Northeastern industrialists. The Trump Civil War or Revolution, whatever you want to call it, is the tech bros versus the chattering managerial class. That's what's going on right now. So, because I don't know if you're aware of this, but like Bill Gates has switched sides. Zuckerberg just paid Trump
Zuckerberg famously switched. Yeah. Again,
paid Trump $25 million. So basically, it's still a war between the elites. So what Trump did this side. So he's got all the elites. He's got like all the billionaires: Peter Thiel, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Bill Gates. I mean, this is real serious money here. Like these people are beyond fuck you money. We're talking about like these people could literally wipe their ass with $1,000 bill and wouldn't notice. So. That kind of money is a huge amount of power and buys a huge amount of influence. And also that's another female billionaire that was RFK's running mate.
Real quick, Vander tips $5, says finally caught the show live. Thank you very much for that. Greatly appreciate it right now.
Yeah, send Beckloff
send super
money.
chats.
Send Beckloff super chats. He's about to be homeless. Plus, he needs money for that monkeypox vaccine.
Yes,
so
I need lots of money. I need lots and lots of money.
Yes, and I've sent Beckloff many dollars over the years. Yeah. But that's how I see what's going on with Trump now. Now it's going to be. I don't believe that the left is just going to lay down for the simple reason that to lay down means to die. So they're going to fight. Now, how effective that will be, I don't know.
I don't think they're going to lay down either. But I also think that they don't. All the stuff that they normally do is now proving to be useless. It used to be you get some lefty to shriek in front of one of these Republicans, and they just fold. And the RF Kennedy hearings today, Elizabeth Warren, is shrieking at RFK, and he's just staring at her blankly, like shut the fuck up. Like all their usual weapons aren't working right now. And I don't think they really... they certainly have no idea what's happened to them. Like, the real hardcore lefties, they don't understand what the fuck happened to them. And I don't know that many of them have the self-reflection to really figure that shit out.
No, I would agree with that, but there is I'm talking more about the elite leftists. They're entrenched, like the federal employees.
Oh yeah, there'll be judges blocking shit. And,
there'll be judges blocking shit. There'll be a huge amount of the warfare will continue because, like some of these people, it's like a religion to them. Like this woke ideology is literally a religion to them. Others are just like, fuck. I mean, if I don't do this, like, I don't know if you're familiar with the Trump offered everybody you can resign in 8 months, or if you don't, your job might not exist anymore.
I don't remember who it was, but I saw something on Twitter today when I was scrolling the news feeds, and it was a legit news story about, wasn't a meme, but one of these bitches that Trump fired, she was literally like, no, you can't fire me, and he just had her physically...
Yeah, they actually physically had to remove
her physically removed from the office.
Yes, I saw that.
And just full on Pinochet physical removal shit. I mean, he didn't throw her from a helicopter that we know of. I don't know if we've heard from her recently, but did she make it home? Can we get a wellness on her check on her? I don't really care enough, but yeah,
I wouldn't be selling her any life insurance if that's what you.
Yeah, these are balls that I've never seen Republicans have balls about shit that actually matters. Like, I've seen Republicans grow balls about
Republicans. Like that piece of shit Mitch McConnell actually voted against the confirmation of
Mitch McConnell, and I think Lindsey Graham did too.
No, I don't think Lindsey Graham did. I think he jumped ball. I think
he was talking about it then, because I remember I had heard.
I think they threatened to release the compromising. I always joke about them having videos of him. Maybe he got a call from Netanyahu saying, no, it's okay. We won't release it. Vote along with Trump. Because Trump sold the 200,000 pound, 2,000 pound bombs to Israel that Biden wouldn't.
Yeah, I heard about that, but whatever, man.
But at the same time, he said he's pulling all of his troops our troops out of Syria.
Yeah, that's the thing. Trump is more pro-Israel than I'd like, because he's pro-Israel at all. And, but it's very much like he's said things to Israel that I haven't, certainly not a Republican president, ever say. Like, we've been a good friend to you. Time to be a good friend to us. And there's a lot more of, okay, yeah, but what are you going to do for us? Kind of questions that there hasn't been before. And there's also a lot more of like, yeah, we'll sell you some weapons, but we're not sending our boys over kind of talk.
Yeah.
And that's certainly a step in the right direction. That's for fuck sure.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I am kind of excited about what's going on. We'll see, if DOGE or Department of Government Efficiency, like how much they can really cut. Like, I do like this offer to retire them kind of thing. Like, take it now or might be gone.
If you got to buy people out to get them out, fine.
Yeah.
If you gotta give the tick a vial of your blood to get them off your back, long term, okay, cool.
What's someone Armored Ghost says? How do you answer the Scott Adams question? What does that mean?
I'm not sure. I assume it has something to do with black people. I don't know. So my answer is generally I like their music and I want to live in their neighborhood. I don't know what else. I mean that's about like.
I'm not sure what he means about that.
I've always gotten along good with the brothers, though. As
Bernie
Yoda,
Sanders needs to know. What was this?
As Yoda once said, "Good relations with the Wookiees I have."
Yeah, good relations. Yeah, that's right. Good relations with the Wookiees. Yeah, it's. Well, I mean, they are. Like I don't know if you know that guy Tyrus. He was like a professional wrestler, and like he's like a stand-up comedian. He's been in some movies. He's really funny. But he was on Fox, and he was talking. He says like he was talking about black people. He's like half black or something. He's like Trump is like the third black president. He's like, because he's more. I mean, Trump is more down with the brothers than Obama is. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they dig him, man.
Oh yeah, Trump was hugely popular with black people up until when they were all told that they weren't supposed to like him in 2015. Like, I mean, hugely popular with them. Because let's be real, Trump acts like a black guy with money. Let's be real. He loves waving it around in goofy, flamboyant ways. Like, he loves that shit. Like,
Well, also he's a convicted felon, so he's got
he's a
street
convicted
cred.
felon. He's been shot at.
Yeah, he's
just
shot.
got some baby mamas running around out there. I mean,
Yeah, he's blacker than a lot of black guys I know.
50
So,
Cent, the rapper that very famously was shot 9 times before he became really famous, one of his album covers, is him with like the glass in front of him has been shot through kind of effect on the album cover. And at his concert shortly after Trump was shot, he literally put it up on screen with Trump's face photoshopped over his.
Yeah, that's good. Who said?
Oh yeah, Trump worked at McDonald's too.
Punish
so.
one, yeah. Get shot works at McDonald's, man. I mean, what the
Quit
fuck,
after a
man?
day.
Yeah, he really worked. Unlike Kamala, who claimed to have worked at McDonald's. My ass, man.
For anybody that's worked fast food, that's stolen valor. I don't care about somebody lying about their Iraq record, but you do not tell me you worked fast food when you didn't, okay? I did my time at Pizza Hut and Burger King, okay?
Yeah, I never worked quote unquote fast food, but I did work in a kitchen in high school. I was a dishwasher and food prep, so I mean, maybe that's
Dishwasher
not
is
as
the
bad.
best job you can have at a restaurant because it's the furthest away from the customers you can get.
Well, that's true, except you're not allowed. At least in New York State, we weren't allowed to wear gloves, so it's like a Board of Health thing. So your hands are always so your pores open up and all the grease gets in them, so you can't get it off. It's horrible.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. I had gloves when I did it.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't allow you to do it. I think it depends on your state, but at least back in New York
Or he
State, they
says
didn't
to
allow it.
check my DMs. He might mean on Twitter. Okay, hang on.
All right, good.
Yeah, he check my good buddy Andrew Banner needs to check his DMs.
Andrew
I'll let
Banner,
him know.
yeah.
Let him know.
Yeah, that Andrew Banner is kind of a pervert, though. He was like posting some like blonde in a bikini to me or
Oh
something.
yeah, he likes to post hot chicks on Twitter.
Yeah, I've
likes
seen him
that.
do that.
It's mostly just comic book stuff and hot chicks. Let's see. Yeah, it's the 4chan post where it's like Trump is more of a N-word candidate now. Gold-plated everything with his name on it. Multiple baby mamas, mugshots, 34 felonies, didn't do nothing, got shot, worked at McDonald's for a day and quit.
Yeah, man, he's down with the brothers, man.
Godzilla says, never worked fast food, but I did have to clean up bathrooms at an Ollie's for a year. That's rough.
Oh, yeah, that's.
I'll
rough,
tell you what,
man.
my last job at the dildo factory, I did. At one point, they were like, "Do you want to get?"
Have you heard of Jesus?
DZ Nuts donates $3. No message. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it right now. But they were like, "Oh, we need a backup for the janitorial position." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." And it actually wasn't bad, except for the break room, because all them Indians and Asian people cook it like microwaving the grossest shit you've ever seen in the world. Every one of those microwaves smelled worse than any of the bathrooms.
Really? All
Oh
right.
my god, just the ghost of a million boiled fish eggs and curry and also just oh god, it's so gross.
So you just be spraying it down with some 409 and rubbing it out. Yeah.
I remember this one Asian lady would drink in like one of them like fancy water bottles, reusable guys.
Mhm.
And it was this water and it just had like seaweed looking shit in it. And it didn't even look like the food seaweed. You'd see it like a sushi thing. It just looked like she took a fucking sample from the bayou. Like
Or
for
maybe it was one of
scientific
those
purposes. Like I expected a frog or something in it. You know what I mean? And she's just drinking out of this, and I'm like, am I sitting next to a fucking Star Trek alien? Like, what are you fucking drinking?
No, it sounds like one of those like health, I don't know, like smoothie things or something. I don't know, whatever, or something like that. Or
It's
who
like,
knows?
it's
I
like
don't know.
watching the Ferengis eat fucking worms or something. Like,
The space Jews, yeah.
You can't replicate it because you need a live one.
Ah, yes.
Replicator just makes dead ones. Right?
Replicator never does it justice. What was I going to say? I was going to say something more about the Trump thing, but yeah, I do think that there's going to be, like that's why I was kind of saying, don't rest on we can't rest on our laurels. I mean that. We got to be careful here, man, because they're gonna, and who knows? Maybe they're gonna take another shot at him.
They might. I don't know.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that they, whacked the president and they whacked the guy that, whacked him, and
Look, man, I would rather. Part of me honestly wants the left to kind of get a little bit of their shit together. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean like to actually. There are some things I agree with on the left, holding the banks accountable and shit like that. You know what I mean? And like the right, yeah, I don't want kids cutting their dicks off, but I don't want, religious nuts passing laws that say I can't beat off. Which was a thing I did here. There was some law being proposed about only expelling genetic, at some state level. I'll have to look it up here, but only expelling genetic material for the purposes of fertilization. That kind of shit. And it's like there is a little bit.
People are not going to stop. Look, I think if anything, you got to worry about the other thing. I mean, there's all these stories about. There's a little
bit of pushback I'd like. A little bit. So yeah, I don't necessarily want a one-party system, because that's when I'm afraid that Republicans are going to start doing all the dumb shit they like to do instead of the good shit we're currently doing. Thank God Trump steers them away from that.
Dude, what was I going to say? Was it like last week I saw a chick that slept with like 100 guys in a day on OnlyFans. So, I mean, I don't think you're going to have to worry about us becoming too puritanical. So
my point is, though, it's like maybe the left will pull its head out of its ass. I just don't see any honest, like, I don't see anybody actually honestly trying to ask, like, why did we lose on their side? That's kind of the thing where it's like, I don't necessarily think it'll happen. But you never know. I mean, look, the Republican Party was in real fucking trouble in 2015 until a goofy billionaire came down an escalator.
Well, it was a uniparty. I mean, the whole thing about what was supposed to happen, and Forney actually talked about this extensively, was the way it was supposed to be. The establishment candidate it was supposed to be Jeb Bush. That was who was supposed to win, and everybody up there kind of knew that. And they weren't technically running for president. They were all running for a cabinet position or VP. That's what it was, and that was kind of the way the establishment party. And then Trump came in there and totally just fucked up everything.
God,
and that's what.
I miss watching him bully Jeb. That was so much fun.
Yeah, he bullied the shit out of everybody off the stage. I mean,
yeah, but Jeb in particular, he just. Yeah. It just every debate he just comes up on stage and looks at Jeb. It's like, you're late for your swirly, nerd. Like,
yeah. Well, I think what really did Jeb Bush in actually was when everybody saw what he married. That was kind of like, do you remember that little gnome he married? This little
fuck. Wait, and I'd seen pictures from the past, and she wasn't. It's not like he married a hot Latina that just kind of went Consuela on him. He just married the maid from Family Guy, just full stop. Like.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, oh my God, like that was bad. And then, like, Trump's there with fucking Melania, fucking supermodel, and it's like, whose judgment do you trust, So, it's, I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they deal with this, because, I mean, I think now that they're just shell shocked, because it's kind of like, if troops have been under, like, think like Iraqi freedom, when like there was like an airstrike that went on for like a week straight before we sent in the ground forces. So like like the soldiers hadn't slept in 7 days, and now they're expected to like fight the Iraqi ones. I mean, and so like because they were just bombarded with all these executive orders and everything. He passed the Laken Riley Act. You saw that just the speech.
Oh yeah, absolutely great. I think there's definitely a sense in which a lot of, when it comes to the rank and file, the true believers, I think a lot of people that are real hardcore ideologues, and that's not true of it, but like a lot of them just can't question their shit. You know what I mean? There's people that have made, and this is true on both sides, but there's people that have made their politics everything about themselves. You know what I mean? It's truly their deepest held beliefs and identity is how they feel about a fucking tax rate. And I don't think that's the healthiest place to be. And it's certainly not a place where you can really ever step back and take a look at them. You know what I mean? You can't. I literally had a conversation with some pro-lifer guy from. It was an in-person thing. I was at some friends from a former church, you know, that I'm very close to. I was at dinner with him, and there was this one guy, and he was, I want to say youngish, like late 20s, early 30s, if I had to guess, you know, somewhat freshly married. I don't think they had kids yet, but he's going on about all this pro-life shit, you know, and he's going on about how, like, people that are pro-choice are consumed by demons of lust and greed and all this other shit, you know. And I kind of said to him at one point, I'm like, look, man, I've been following politics for a long time. And I remember in the 90s and into the Bush years, all the pro-lifers, all the big pro-life advocates, you know, the people that do it professionally, for lack of a better term, they always talked all this cash money shit that when Roe versus Wade got overturned, they were going to have all these state victories. And this is why, by the way, a lot of hardcore pro-lifers, like single-issue pro-lifers, kind of resent Trump, in my opinion. He gave them that shot at bat, and they mostly struck out. There's been a few red states where the legislatures have passed, you know, restrictions on abortion. But for the most part, when that shit's up to, even in red states, when that shit's up to like a referendum that people vote on, it gets voted down.
Yeah.
When elections become just about abortion, for better or worse, the Republican usually loses. This is a country that leans pro-choice. It's not the ghoulish, you know, yank the kid out and strangle him on the doctor's table shit, but leaning pro-choice. And I kind of said to him, I'm like, look, man, the pro-life movement has to win hearts and minds if it wants to win political battles. I don't know why you think you can go in the opposite direction. He kind of started talking about, well, it's just so self-evident that it's right. And I'm like, okay, then if it's so self-evident it's right, then why are you not convincing people? Like, you could sit here and talk about those people have demons, but at a certain point, that's an excuse. You know, you have to look and say, what are we saying and how are we saying it that we're losing? Especially if you genuinely believe you're so self-evidently right, then you must be just not presenting it right or something, because it's not working. And I think there's a lot, especially single-issue people on all sorts of things. I think they get so tunnel vision in it that they can't even imagine how someone else thinks differently. Like, they can't begin to imagine it. And how you gonna win anybody that way? And that's where these fucking hardcore, fucking woke, progressive, you know, you think destiny isn't quite leftist enough motherfuckers are. And I don't know what to tell you. I don't see you winning anytime soon with that kind of attitude.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think running on cutting kids' dicks off and more illegals is likely to win an election anytime soon. Like, it's just
well,
not.
I mean, you could argue though, like that was what put Biden in office. Like this shit was going on.
I think what put Biden in office was 15 million voters that mysteriously appeared and disappeared in this fucking dimension.
Yeah, well, yeah, the pizza box is on Windows, right? But still, yeah, I mean, look, the last 4 years have been like, you know, like literal fucking. We got to be living in a simulation because this can't be real, right? I mean, just some of the things that, you know, the things that the laws they passed, the things they were spending money on, it was, you know, it was hard to comprehend. And eventually you push people too far and the pendulum swings back the other way. Now, I think about the abortion thing, though. I think that a lot of states have put that haven't, quote unquote, banned abortion. They did put some restrictions on it, right? Like you can't go in there. Like, you know,
there has been some. Most of that, though, has come from state legislatures acting. What I have taken particular notice of is every time I've seen an election that abortion becomes the big issue, even in Republican areas, it hurts the Republican. And every time I've seen it brought up, again, even in red states, to referendums where people just vote directly on it, it gets voted down. I believe that the country leans pro-choice. If you were, if it were to come up to a vote nationwide, you know what I mean? Again, I don't think that doesn't mean the extremely ghoulish shit. You could probably pass nationwide a late-term abortion ban. You know what I mean? Right. Or like a ban in the first 3 months ain't fucking happening. No. Ain't fucking happening. I wouldn't
want that though. I mean,
I don't want that either. But I'm just saying, I think that's where most people fall. You know what I mean? And for the hardcore pro-lifers, again, I would just say, because look, I don't care about the issue that much. I really don't. Like if I would give either side their way if it just meant we could audit the Fed. You know what I mean? Like whatever. Like, there's so much more important shit. If it meant getting rid of all the illegals tomorrow, I would give either side their way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, if it was like, push this button and it either completely outlaws or completely allows abortion, but it also gets rid of the illegals. I am sprinting across the room to hit that button. I don't even have to know which one it is on the abortion issue. Doesn't matter. Whatever.
Right,
like, yeah. I'm just doing it. That said, though, a lot of the pro-life spurgs, and by that I mean not somebody that's pro-life, I mean somebody that they're a single-issue voter when it comes to that shit. People that didn't, Republicans that don't think Trump is far, that kind of thing. Well, I don't know if I should vote for Trump because of it. That kind of, those real spurgs. They drag the party down. You know what I mean? And it's like, look, man, if you want your way, and I really don't care if you get your way on this that much, but if you want your way, you got to fucking convince people. I don't know why you thought you could skip that step, but you have to.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe that eventually you're gonna have. I don't think it's ever gonna get to the point in our lifetime where you get a ban on abortion in this country, like an outright ban. Though I do believe that restrictions are going to become more and more prevalent because the crashing birth rate. I think just the view of people's, the way people look at abortion is going to be, and also I think that people are starting to want to hold women accountable for their actions. So
I honestly think that with the hardcore pro-lifers, I think it's always been about the birth rates with them. I think it's always been about just because with the really hardcore ones, a lot of them, and this isn't just a Catholic thing. You would think it is, but it's not. A lot of them just outright speak against other forms of birth control. Constantly, from the pill to the condom, where it's like, no, none of that should really be.
Well, that's totally retarded. I mean,
I agree, but I'm just saying, I think that's always, I've always gotten the impression from the real hardcore pro-lifers that abortion wasn't the point with them. Not really. That it was, the point was, I don't like the idea of dinks. Double income, no kids. I don't like the idea that just people don't have kids out there. It just drives me fucking wild. I honestly think that's the point with a lot of them.
Well, I do think that, way back when I was a kid and dinosaurs roamed the earth, like, it wasn't uncommon for there to be just the dad worked and the mom raised the kids. Like, that was kind of the way most people lived.
I mean, honestly, look, if you want to raise the birth rate, and I'm not super keen on that right now because I think we could use low birth rates for a little while. I mean, as long as you're not letting third worlders replace you, I'm okay with, the population going back to 1985 levels,
Yeah, but the thing about that is when you say the population, but when you get
I get it. I get that there's a pinch because you end up with an elderly population for a while that you don't know what to do with. I didn't say it would be the most pleasant thing in the world, but you also just can't have green line go up forever with population. There's a big unpleasant reality that comes with that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm fine with I would rather it go down slowly so it's not too painful, but I'm fine with the number going down for a while. We're well over 8 billion right now. We're not on the verge of extinction. Let's calm down. That said, though, if you do want to raise the birth rate, the way you do it is you make it worth fucking having kids for people. Like, you make it so, people can fucking afford to, and they feel fucking hope, and they want to. Do those two things, and you'll see the fertility rates go up. Okay? If we were in a country right now where people could make a decent living with, let's say, just a high school diploma, You know what I mean? You could make a decent middle class fucking living. Not a life of luxury, but you could just, a man working at the fucking box factory can support his family. And maybe we had hope as a country. Maybe we were aspiring to the stars. You know, we had fucking sending rockets to Mars and shit like that. There was some sort of possible bright future in people's minds. You know what I mean? If you had those two things, you'd see the birth rate spike right the fuck up. And no amount of some social conservative waving his finger at you because, you know, you don't don't want to have kids even though you work at McDonald's. You know, you don't you actually want to live a comfortable life. Like, no amount of that shit is going to raise the birth rate. It's not going to fucking happen. You know?
No, but I don't think anyone is making that argument.
And some of them. I mean, we've watched some videos on here from PragerU and shit like that where it's like, who cares if you can't afford it? Just do it anyways. Just be miserable and poor, but have kids. I mean,
yeah, well, I mean, as someone who grew up poor and lived in like a fucking tenement that was infested with rodents and roaches, like that's no way to live.
No, it's not. Like, you know, if you're married and you and your wife both work and you're barely getting by as is, you probably shouldn't have a kid. Just a general piece of advice.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Now, that's not something the PragerU and the trads and all would tell you, but that's something I'm going to tell you. Don't do it.
Yeah, I would say that's true. Although there is like, you know, I think I mentioned this to you privately. I have a friend of mine that, you know, he has 4 kids. He makes shit money. He has a college degree, and so did his wife, but she doesn't work. She stayed home and raised all the kids. He went and he worked. I mean, he never made. He works. He does something with real estate, like appraisal. I don't know exactly what it is, but he doesn't make good. You know, he doesn't make enough money where you would think that he would be able to afford a family of 6, right? You know, 4 kids, himself and his wife. But you know, they do it. You know, I mean, they cut corners constantly.
You can do it. I'm just saying, I wouldn't, and I think a lot of other people don't want to do it. So, again, if you want to raise the birth rate, give people a future worth hoping for, and give people a present worth living in, and you'll raise the birth rate.
Yeah, no, I'm not disputing that, but I mean, I don't know how long it would take. I don't know how long it would take to get to that point where, I mean, well, one thing Trump did say, you were talking about doing things for us. One thing Trump said, he hasn't done it yet, but was capping credit card interest rates at 10%. Because now, like I have this one credit card, like I it's just for my, I don't think I mentioned I had this huge amount of dental work done, like, you know, like 17 grand. And there was like a credit card just for dental procedures. And I borrowed like, like $11,000 or something on it because it was no interest, right? Like if I pay it off in 2 years, there's like literally no interest. But I looked at the rate when I got the statement. If I don't pay it off in full, whatever I don't pay off gets charged at 31.2%. 31 point. I was like, look, dude, Tony Soprano didn't charge that kind of interest, man.
There is a reason. Like, I am not against loaning with interest. There's some people that go full on, like, oh, they shouldn't have any loans with it. That's dumb. That said, though, every civilization that's had, you know, loaning money with interest as a thing they allow has always put caps on it because you have to. You just do. Like, at the end of the day, money is fucking make-believe. It's pretend. I know that sounds like a hippie thing to say, but it's true. It's a placeholder is a better way to put it. And you can very easily reach a point where there is more debt than there is money. Both of the, you know, it's just debt that's impossible to pay off. We're probably with our national debt. But that's a different topic. Point is, that's why there's always been, like, just, you know, like the Hebrews did Jubilee. You know, there were other things where it's like, you know, our society had really good bankruptcy laws where we said, look, you can reach a point where you fucked yourself really, really badly, and here's a reset button. It's not without cost. It's not without penalty, but it's a way that you can get, you know, you don't have to be in debt for the rest of your days. I've always said the whole student loan crisis, you know, just pay off, you know, the loan forgiveness and all that other shit. I've always said the best way to do that is just make them absolvable through bankruptcy retroactively. Because then the people that are really, really stuck, like just no fucking hope, you know, they got themselves $50K in debt because they got talked into a degree in lesbian African studies or something when they were 19, and it's just never going to fucking get paid off for them. Fine. Your credit score is going to be absolutely shit now. You know, you're not getting a loan anytime soon, but it's done. You know, we're
Yeah,
not.
I mean, but what most people don't realize is the student loan thing is a little bit more complicated than that. Like the way it works is that the reason that anyone can get a student loan is because the government co-signs it.
Well, yeah, but that's the other good thing about making it retroactively absolvable through bankruptcy. A lot less people are going to get student loans going forward.
Right. No,
So we
that's
also
right.
nip that. We also turn off the fucking faucet while we're drowning. You know what I mean?
Right. No, that's the point. Like, I have nothing against student loans as long as there's no government co-signing it. So the point is when most people don't understand this, right? So let's say there's someone that owes $50,000 or $100,000, which is not uncommon for kids that owe, like nowadays, 100 grand in student loan debt, right? You know, because after how much it costs to go to college now and plus the interest and everything, right? So let's say you can't pay it, you're not paying it. Well, guess who is paying it? The bank's not going short. They're getting what you don't pay, the government's paying, or the taxpayer more specifically is paying for it. So the banks are being made whole regardless whether or not these people paid. So if you had this like debt forgiveness thing, and you know the banks, because you know the way the law works, you can't do this, you know, after the fact thing, you know, ex post facto thing, and say, oh no, we're taking that back. That wouldn't work. What you could do is say, no, you only get a loan. Like you would go if you wanted to go to college and you don't have enough money to pay for it, you'd go to the bank and they'd say, you know, how much does it cost? How much do you want to borrow? And you would say, well, and they say, well, what are you going to study? And you say, well, I'm going to get a good degree in interpretive feminist stance. And they said, okay, well, let's see what those people make after they graduate. And they say, okay, well, you're looking at making $22,000 a year, and you want to borrow 50 grand, so you'd have to live to the age of 530 to pay this off.
Yeah, the thing is, after these banks got bailed out, at this point, it's like, I'm perfectly fine with just saying, fuck you, you're going to be stuck holding the bill. Because at some point, somebody's going to be stuck holding the bill. And I'd rather be the bank than the taxpayers. And yeah, a bunch of you are going to suffer, but too fucking bad. We bailed you out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hear it. Like, there does come a point where you're going to have to do something like that. Because you will have to address it at some point. I know Republicans want to be like, you paid a loan, pay it back. I get that. I get the idea behind that. It's not going to fucking work. Because a lot of people are trapped in these loans, and they fucking vote too. And if you don't offer some manner of fucking solution, you're going to lose that issue to the other side.
The thing is, I would agree with that if you did something like where you all the interest payments were taken away from the loan. Like you don't have to pay.
You got to do something.
Like well, and the reason I say that, it's not a moral argument. It's just a basic economics argument, is that our economy is so hyper financialized that if all these banks went under and we're not going to bail them out, that would end up just destroying the whole economy. So like everybody, even the people working in the box factory would be like, I don't own stock in this bank. It doesn't matter. Everybody's
Michael M, by the way, asked me, he goes, does Beckloff have a college degree? And here's why I was saved from student loan problems. Because when I got out of high school, I was an ambitiousless piece of shit. 9/11 had already happened. I was pretty convinced we were all fucked. Took a lot longer than I thought for that to happen, but whatever. Plus, all I ever wanted to do at that age was I wanted to fuck my girlfriend and read comic books. That was it. And it turns out you don't need a college degree for either one of those things. You don't even need a tremendous amount of money. So, I was just a directionless piece of shit that just wanted to fuck my girlfriend and read comic books. And didn't have to go to college for that. So that's why I'm not currently with like $50,000 in student loan debt.
Yeah, but also, like, when you went to college, it was a hell of a lot cheaper than, like, when I went to college, it was cheap.
I would have been going in, like, 02, so, I mean, it was still pricey then, but it
was
wasn't
pricey,
now.
but
It wasn't like now.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking, like, well over 20 years later. Like, now it's obscene. Like, I mean, when I went to college, I mean, I went to, well, except for 1 year, I went to, City College. So, I mean, it was dirt cheap, and because the income my mother made, and I worked off the books. So I literally got paid to go to school. Like, I mean, after tuition and books and everything like that, I still had money left over that they gave me. And then, and I worked part-time while I was in school. And then of course, worked full-time in the summers like everybody else did. So it didn't really cost me anything. I mean, I was lucky that anyway, but I understand, like, there was some money that, like, I probably could have borrowed, but it wouldn't have been a huge sum of money. It would have been really small just to handle some, like, of the expenses you have, when you're making shit money, and I was living in New York City. But and I had a roommate and everything like that. So I mean, there are things you could, but nowadays like that's impossible because you look at what they're charging for. And another thing, I don't understand why people borrow money to go away to school for room and board. Like that to me is totally retarded. Like why not live with your parents? I mean, while you're in school.
Yeah, I
mean,
guess it makes sense if you're going to some school that's across the country or something, but I mean,
Yeah, but
unless
only
you're
go-
getting into a really, really super nice school, I don't even understand the point of that.
Yeah, unless you're getting like if you're
If
getting
you're
into
getting into
Harvard
fucking
or
Harvard or something, like fine.
yeah, then I get it. But any like what people let's say you really want to get a college degree in something that's going to be useful. Well, you can go to community college for the first 2 years, do all your prerequisites, like like all your English lit classes and your other humanity classes and your basic math classes like pre-calc or whatever, and then then after that, then you go to your whatever you want to major in, do that. But I mean, just going away for the whole 4 years and having to pay room and board and tuition and that's just obscene. So I mean, like I said, unless you get a scholarship or you're rich, I just don't, or if you get accepted to Harvard, because then you're pretty much guaranteed you're going to be making, be able to pay it back. But it's just to go to a regular school, and unless you're majoring in something that has like from the time you get out, it's actually marketable. You know what I mean? Like you actually have something to offer an employer because you studied this for 4 years at a decent school. Like, then I get it. But I mean, look at where these people end up working. I mean, most of them end up working fucking at Starbucks.
This wasn't college, but my valedictorian in high school, the last time I saw her, this would have been, she would have been done college. I don't know the details, but I know she was a fucking manager at Walmart.
Oh, really? Okay.
That was the last time I ran into her post high school.
That's
So
interesting.
I can't even confirm for you that she went to college. I know she was planning on it. I wasn't close to her. I didn't keep track of her afterwards. Don't even
Well, I'm
remember
sure
her
if she wanted to
fucking
go to
name.
college, I'm sure if she was
Yeah,
valedictorian,
I
she would've gotten a
imagine she
scholarship.
went to college. I imagine she went to college and got very good grades and got a diploma in who knows what the fuck it was. And she was working as a manager at fucking Walmart.
Well, maybe she got knocked up and had to drop out. And
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, she was an evangelical chick, so who knows? Who knows? Maybe she just dropped out of college because she found a husband because, pumped out 1 million babies or something. I don't know what the fuck she did. I just know, like, it doesn't look like she was doing anything with her life that required those good grades. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, college I mean, I'm not sure when it happened, but probably like around 1990-ish, or maybe a little later. That a college degree just became like it really lost its value. Like if you had a college degree like in the 1970s, it was like a big deal. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah,
was
if they send everybody, it's gonna,
Yeah, it doesn't mean, and plus, well, not just the fact they send everybody, but the people that graduate. There's always like, all right, here's something really interesting. I'll tell you this. This is somewhat related to what we're talking about. There's an article from Zero Hedge. Air Force Academy drops quote diversity and inclusion studies. From you could go to the Air Force. That was a minor that was offered. So you could like get like you could major in military history and minor in quote diversity and inclusion studies. That was just dropped from the. I mean, so that's just like the idea of the ridiculousness. Like these kind of degrees didn't exist when I was in college. You couldn't major in social justice or I don't know, white oppression. Or
I knew somebody that got an art degree.
Oh, they did have that, yeah.
He
Yeah,
told me
fine art.
point blank. He said because he wanted to just do illustrations. He had hoped to do comic book stuff. He was a fellow comic book geek like me, but he just, and then he was thinking, oh, and you probably have to do ads and horse shit like that. But I just I love to draw. I want to try and figure out a way that I can make that a living out of that. And was sold a bill of goods, went to school. He never got a fucking job and any shit like that. But he also told me, he goes, there were 2 classes worth of damn in the 3 years he'd been there. He said there was a perspective class that he wished he had more of, because perspective drawing is an amazing cross between an art and a science that you could probably, you could have a perspective 101 and 102 and 103. You know what I mean? Building up through like 4 years of college. It's there's that much to it. It's this cross section of art and math, and then just basic. I think he said anatomy or illustration or something like that. He goes, the rest of it was like art history, horse shit, and like, make collages to get in touch with your inner black lesbian or something. And I mean, he was my age, so this was 20 years ago. Now, granted, it was art school; it was more hippy dippy, but still, he's like, there was 2 classes that did anything to make me a better artist.
Yeah, that's kind of sad that that like it had revolved in that. But
he said I could have just, if I could have done it over again, he said I would have just audited those 2 classes, and then, because I mean, he's made money with his art. I haven't seen him in years, but last I knew, and he's probably doing okay on the internet making money with art. This was early 2000s. The internet was barely a thing, but he had made some money with art, but it was always a side gig. You know what I mean? He had to have regular fucking jobs, that kind of shit.
right,
And
he
it's
couldn't
like,
support himself
he
based on what he studied at school.
He could have just audited those 2 fucking classes and been right where he was, but minus the debt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, well, here's a funny story for you. Like, you've seen or you've heard of the movie The Big Short?
Yes, I've heard of it.
Right. Well, the guy, that's based on a book, right? This guy named Michael Lewis, he wrote a book that I read, like, I think when I was in college, called Liar's Poker. That was about, like, remember, I don't know if this might be before your time, maybe you heard about, like, Michael Milkman and junk bonds and all that shit, like, in the late 80s. Like, he wrote a book about that called Liar's Poker. It was actually a really good read. But anyway, he also wrote the book that The Big Short on. But guess what he majored in college?
What?
Art history.
I'm not surprised.
But I mean, the point of that was, like, it's funny in the book. I mean, in Liar's Poker, he talks about how he was applying for a job, because I think he went to he went to like a really good school, but but he applied, but he had an art history degree. But it just kind of shows you how, like, I don't know anyway, it's all bullshit. I mean, but yeah, you shouldn't. Everybody, I think, does need some sort of skill. So I mean, it's like, look, if you want to go to college, fine. But before you go to college, why don't you get a certification in fucking welding, and then after that, and use that to pay your way through school. Or
we need to get to an education system where a high school diploma is sufficient for the vast majority of people. Like, college should be a thing that our best and brightest go to become leaders in elite fields. You know what I mean? That's what it should be. It shouldn't be something where we teach you how to be a black lesbian on the inside, and we teach you about other kins, and of course we have minor league football. That's not what college is supposed to be.
Right.
It's supposed to be our elites go there to be the best and brightest. High school diploma should be sufficient for like 70 to 80% at least of our fucking population. And part of that means make high school worth a fucking damn again. Make school worth a fucking damn again. And yeah, by the time you're in your junior or senior year, you should be done with your general studies for most people, and maybe you're learning a trade or some shit. Who knows? Like, that's how a healthy society should have this shit function. Like, the standards of our high school, like, I will say things, I've always noticed this, I'll say things about, like, basic subjects, just some basic science or shit like that, and I remember, just as a specific example, have you ever seen the movie Evolution with David Duchovny? It's a goofy movie with aliens or something.
No,
but
I didn't.
The aliens in it are all silicon based, right? Now, there are theories that there might be life forms like that. But I remember I was in the break room just chatting with a buddy at this one job, right? And I just kind of said, like, because we had just watched that movie. And I was like, it just seems like the aliens shouldn't, because they were eating people. And I'm like, it seems like they shouldn't be able to eat us. Because all the sugars and proteins and stuff would be incompatible. You know what I mein? It wouldn't...
Right.
At best, we pass through them, and give them the shits. At worst, we poison them. And I was kind of explaining to a buddy of mine who's not even a dumb, but I was like, yeah, just what, sugars and proteins are made from carbon that's bonded to hydrogen and oxygen molecules. That's why they're called hydrocarbons. And he's staring at me blankly. And I'm like, this is kind of something any high school graduate should know.
Mm-hmm.
Like just basic. This isn't. I'm not dropping fucking genius level chemistry. This is just basic chemical understanding about the world around us. You know. Like sometimes you get like conservatives talk about we need to teach the Bible in school, and I'm always like, I'll go a step further. I think a high school graduate should at least have a basic understanding, a bird's eye view of the 5 major world religions.
Yeah. Well, what
Like,
just happened to shop? What happened to shop class?
Yeah, and that's the other thing I said. Learn trades. Like,
Yeah.
I would dare say if we had an education system that was functioning, I would dare say that high school dropouts should be able to eke a decent living. Not live great, but, you know, manage to, you know, make something out of their fucking life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
So-
I totally agree. I mean, and also just think about like the benefits it would have to society in general, because you wouldn't have this 4 years where people are out of the workforce, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if
I've also said that, like, and I'm glad that it became a big thing during the pandemic and it hasn't died down, but I'm glad to see more people homeschooling. Certainly in the younger years. I mean, look, man, I know being a parent is tough, and it's part of why I don't want to fucking do it, because I barely got my fucking self in order, you know. But I do have to imagine that there's nothing an elementary school kid is supposed to learn that I can't at least look up. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
like maybe there's some history. I'm gonna refresh this right alongside you, kid, but we'll figure it out, okay? Like, because what does somebody graduating 5th grade need to know? You need to know basic arithmetic. You need to know basic spelling and reading, and have a very, very bird's eye view of fucking world history. And that's fucking it. That's all we need out of you. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like I can get you there, unless you're just completely retarded. Assuming you're only half retarded like me. I feel like I can get you at that level by 2nd or 3rd grade.
Yeah, I was just thinking that we probably should accelerate the program, but well, I don't know.
Well,
if
that's the problem with a
statistics on this,
school system, is it has to be all geared towards the dumbest kids.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Well,
the other
also-
thing with school homework. You know, when I was a kid, John, I thought homework was bullshit, and I am in a couple of months 42, and I've now come to the conclusion I was right. Homework is bullshit, and that's why I didn't do a lot of it when I was a kid, because like, it's kind of bullshit. I liked learning. I didn't like doing busy work, and for most jobs, again, maybe you're a high-powered lawyer, it's a little different, but for most jobs, if your boss gives you some work to take home and do, you're going to tell him to suck your dick. You know what I mean? Like, I just imagine I give let's say I got a bright-eyed fucking 7-year-old. His mind's a sponge. He naturally wants to fuck to learn. And I hand this kid to you fucking government officials for 7 to 8 hours. At least 6. Elementary schools are at least 6 hours, you know? And you bring him back with 2 hours of work to do? What were you doing with him?
Yeah, good
Like-
question. Well, also though, the other problem is that basically now schools just serve as daycare centers for
That
poor
is
people.
exactly what they are. Because, again, both parents got to work, so, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, if I
Well,
could
I mean, plus if
possibly
you-
do
if-
it, I would homeschool a kid. At the
Well,
very least, I'd try and get him to private school or something.
Yeah, but even private schools are fucked now too. Like they're as woke as fuck. I'm sure there's some you can find or whatever, but then they probably just are always talking about Jesus nonstop and not teaching you either. So, but
I
guess
don't
that's-
necessarily look. I'm a man of faith, but I also don't necessarily want my kid being taught that the Earth is 6,000 years old. Like, let's calm down.
Yeah, I mean, let's wait till at least till they get to 9th grade for that.
Be fucking realistic about shit, all right?
But the other thing is, like the school system now. Like I don't know if you've seen like these TikTok videos that like on my Twitter I see these funny ones by the who's the libs of TikTok. I don't know if you follow that Twitter account, and they're always showing like some fucking teacher, and I'm like, dude, if I had kids and their teacher looked like that, unless she was like the art teacher, I'd be like, I'm pulling my kid out right away. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Look, man, I was never a kid that was told about the stork or dumb shit like that. I feel like I had a basic idea of what sex was for as long as I can remember. At least as long as I understood the idea of mortality. You know what I mean? At least as long as I understood the idea that living things have babies and eventually die, and those babies have babies and eventually die, which is, I couldn't even tell you when I learned that. You know what I mean? Like, that goes back kind of further than my memory. So I always knew what sex was in the broad idea. And I'm not against kids knowing that. I don't think you should ever, it's fine to explain to a 6-year-old biologically what sex is. That's a lot different than, here, let me tell you about butt sex and fisting.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot different than that, okay? You know.
And why do they feel this need to bring kids to drag shows and that kind of thing? Like, I don't understand, like, why. I mean, if they want to do that, like, yeah, but you go ahead, you do that. But why do you want to bring our kids there? Like, I just don't understand that need. It's like,
I miss 90s gays that hated kids and wanted nothing to do with them.
yeah. Well, now I think they just, now, I mean, that was the thing that they used to say. I remember some of the old Trump protests when, during his first term, we're coming for your kids. I remember them holding up the banners.
And it's like, no, you're not. All right, you're not gonna tell my kid about fisting. And, like, no.
Yeah, I don't think a 7-year-old needs to know about anal fisting. Like, that's just my opinion, but I think it's pretty valid. So, yeah, I mean, also the society has become so, decadent. I hate to sound like, oh, these kids today, but I mean, for Christ's sake, man, I mean, just some of the shit now is just like, I mean, it's worse than like, I mean, basically the stuff that you used to have the joke, you 2 clicks away from a donkey show nowadays. You know what I mean? Like any kid with an internet connection.
Oh, again, it's easy to say what I'd do if I was a parent, because I'm not. I understand that. Before any parents in the audience be like, well, let me tell you, I know. That said, though, if I was a parent, my kid ain't having no unfiltered internet access, period. I understand nobody has landlines anymore, so maybe you got to give a cell phone, but like a flip phone, you know what I mean? Like, that's what you're getting when you're a kid. Because first of all, you're not losing an expensive ass fucking smartphone. Because you're a dumb kid, you're gonna lose shit. I know. I was a kid. I lost shit all the fucking time. It's gonna be a shitty little flip phone, and you're not having unfiltered internet access. There'd be one fucking computer in the family room that probably has filters on it. And look, I know that when that kid's 12, something like that, 11, 12, 13, he's going to sneak down there when I'm asleep, right around probably 9 in the morning, because that's when I sleep. And he's going to get up bright and early while I'm snoozing, and he's going to probably figure out a way around them filters and look at some fucking titties and stuff like that. I know that's probably going to happen, but he's going to have to work for it. He's not going to have unfiltered fucking donkey shows in the palm of his hand.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like the way we used to, like.
You're probably gonna want to see what a fucking vagina looks like before an actual girl lets you. I get it. Well, I was there too, but
yeah, well, because I mean, I'm dating myself, but I'm just talking about the dirty magazines. Like we'd always uncover, like where we used to hide them in the woods, and you'd always come across somebody else's stash, like of dirty. I don't know if that ever happened to you.
I did actually in the woods. I came across not just magazines. I remember a specific time I came across some kids hid some VHS tapes in the woods. It was an abandoned bus in the woods. There was a lot of abandoned vehicles down in the woods in Maryland. I don't know why. But an abandoned bus, and for whatever reason, I was like 12, 13, maybe. Yeah, I was probably 13. It was probably like 7th, 8th grade. And I climbed up in there just goofing around and saw the bag, and I opened it up, and there was porno tapes. I specifically remember that because not only was like, I got to get these home, but I had a VCR in my room because it was the old VCR my dad didn't want anymore because it was kind of broken. It was
like the remote control didn't work.
Yeah, the remote control barely worked. I think you had to like hold down fast forward or rewind to make them work. You know what I mean?
Right.
Point is, I also remembered how to tape stuff because my dad was a firm believer in renting a movie and making a copy. He loved that shit. Most of the movies we had, Ghostbusters written in pen on the side label. You know what I mean? That kind of shit.
Right.
So I knew how to make copies. So I made copies of these porno tapes for the kids I knew. And sold them for $20 a pop.
Wow.
I made about $140 or $160 as a kid in 1996. Let the good times roll.
That's when $140 was a lot of money.
That was a lot of money
today. That's back when $140 was real
And again,
money.
for a kid, you ain't got no bills or nothing. It's just go to the comic book store. When a comic was $1.50, maybe $2. You know what I mean? Let the good times roll. And only reason I didn't keep doing it was once I like was no longer selling to people I knew, I was afraid of getting caught, and that's when the operation got shut down. You know? But I'll say $140 on an initial investment of something like $8 to $10 of blank tapes. I think I made out pretty good.
Yeah, I think you did all right for
But
yourself.
before
Yeah,
that, I actually, the first porno I think I had seen is I stumbled onto my dad's stash of a couple of tapes, and I was so concerned about getting caught. I remember I rewound it back to the moment it was at,
right.
like that kind of shit. But like, I understand if I was a parent that kids are going to do shit like that. Kids are going to get into trouble. They're going to, you know, it's fine. I understand that. You just got to push against that and minimize it. You know what I mean? But like, if a kid sees a fucking some titties, it ain't the end of the world, you know. But that also doesn't mean you got to just let them have a fucking smartphone in their hand. Because to be honest, the problem with letting them have a smartphone in their hand, porn's the least of the problems as far as I'm concerned. I don't think your little brain can handle the social media and all this other shit. I think it's just gonna rot your fucking brain.
Well, it's turning them all like they're all showing signs of autism now because they're not
it's
interacting with
look,
people. So yeah.
I'm not a boomer that anti-tech and all that kind of shit, anti-video game, all that kind of shit. But like, you know, when I was a kid, yeah, I had my fucking Nintendo, but I also went out and played. You know what I mean? Like, there was a certain balance to these things.
Well, it's funny though. Like someone was saying that you should tell your kids to go outside, but the problem is now is you tell your kid to go outside, there's no one there.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
I get
like-
that. I get that these are, you know, better, easier said than done. I'm just saying you got to have some manner of balance to it. It can't just be, you know, like also kids got to have toys. Like, it can't just be screens. He can't be just entertained constantly. You got to give him like something that he has to entertain himself with. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, here's
Yeah,
some
pretty
Legos,
much, yeah.
build something. Here's some action figures. Tell yourself a story with them. Like, use your fucking brain, all right? Don't just be passively fucking taking in shit. And I know video games aren't necessarily passive, but these days they're all like Skinner boxes that are basically fucking slot machines for children. Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you mean like I think good hobbies for kids are like models, like building models. Like,
Yeah.
I had friends that were into that, or what's the other? Like one of the things I liked was model rockets when I was a kid. That kind of thing. So yeah, something like that
just
engages
fucking
your mind.
paper and colored pencils. Kids love to draw, man. Even if they suck at it, kids love to draw. You
Yeah.
know, like, there's got to be a balance to it. I'm not saying a kid should never have a fucking video game system, but that can't be all the fuck they do. Got to be a balance to it.
Yeah, and you should limit how many hours a kid does anything. I mean, same thing with like my mom. Well, I mean, what little she could do, like how much TV you can watch, things like
I mean,
that. when I was
there's good effects to video games even in moderation. I mean, they teach problem solving, good hand-eye coordination. Yeah, there's nothing inherently wrong with them. But, you know, if all your kid does is scroll fucking YouTube and play on the fucking Xbox, like, you gotta do something about that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Well, anyway, brother, I'm gonna let you go.
All right, I might go ahead and wrap this up because I think we're just about out of. I don't. Chat's kind of dead, so I don't know. Might wrap it up. All right, talk to you later, man.
Peace out.
Oh my god, yeah, I think we're probably done. Oh man, I've got an hour and a half of content there. I just couldn't sleep, so I figured I'd stream for y'all. Let's see. All right, folks, if you enjoy the content I put out, consider supporting the show. Streamlabs.com/TheBeckloff, PayPal.me/TheBeckloff. Donations greatly appreciated, particularly now, while I'm an unemployed bum. And I'll also put a link to the Amazon wishlist down below if you want to buy me some dumb shit that I like. That's also greatly appreciated. That's about it for tonight, folks. I want to thank you all for watching. Beckloff out.